Welcome back, and we're continuing with our demo, a little bit of look at the hopper by Green Hectares. And I guess one thing that's important to note here is that this is a free service not only to the partners but to the users as well.
That's right, totally free.
Is that ever going to change? Dreaded question.
I don't know. Not in the near future, I don't think.
Okay, let's jump back into the application here. We had a few more things that we wanted to look at. One of the keys was experts. Let's talk about experts. So we go back into here. I'll let you take over here.
For sure. So we'll just click on the expert screen, and then we'll click on View All. So experts really range the gamut from agricultural fieldmen to people that are experts in safety training to succession planning to all types of things. The real key with experts is a user is able to contact an expert for free to get some advice. So one of the examples that we're going to use right now is, let's say you're a farmer in Wheatland County and you have a question about the policies and procedures of agricultural services in Wheatland County, but you don't know who to contact. So in the search bar up at the top, we can type in Wheatland and then type go, and we'll get who the contact is for the agricultural fieldman rep for Wheatland County.
Okay.
And so now you've got Russell's information up, and you can either email him or call him and get some free advice on what your issue is or what your question is. Okay,
that's great. I mean, you're out there in the field using that, and this seems to work in there. What other areas are good to look up in this? I mean, I know you're adding things daily.
Exactly, yeah, we're adding things daily. One of the other ones that comes up quite often is safety questions.
Okay.
So let's say you've got a question on whether or not you should be giving your farmhands safety training.
Okay.
So if we were to type in safety training into the search term, we can
go up here and I'll clear this.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll just type in safety training there. And then we'll come up with someone that we can contact about that question.
Let's try farm safety. Okay. And there we have somebody.
And there we go, Art Dean.
Okay.
So you could contact him and ask him questions. He does represent a company. He does say free safety training there. But let's say it wasn't free safety training. So for a partner, what this enables them to do is to have a free conversation with a user, but also be able to make that connection. So even though the first conversation is free and no obligation, if the farmer likes you after the initial consultation, you might have a client there in the future.
So this is really, this fellow here is marketing his business as a partner, showing up in the search engine, and certainly those resources that are under the experts are going to be added every day. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so you've got some fairly basic, if they have a website, can you get onto it as well?
Yes.
Let's see if same way.
Yeah, no, Art doesn't have a website.
Art doesn't have a website. Shame on Art, I guess. Right now, I shouldn't be saying that about him, but okay, fantastic. Now we've got a few other things that we can filter as well. So I'm just going to close this out and bring up the hopper screen again. The recommended resources. How do we use that? What do we use this for?
Sure. So recommended resource is basically a consolidation of data related to agriculture. So that might be any data that you find online, Facebook, a company's web page, anything like that. So let's say you're a farmer, you're out in the field, you've got a problem with canola pests. Well, you don't really want to figure out what's going on with your canola pest. If you're in Asia, it might be a totally different pest. We're looking for a real local Canadian canola pest. So if we type in canola pest into the search term there.
Should I go view all here?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. So I just have whatever was on there last time?
Sure. Yep. So we'll just type in canola pests.
Okay.
And go. And then you'll be able to see some local resources that have to do with canola pests to be able to help you solve your issue with canola pests.
So we have some crop protection webinars from the Canola Council of Canada. That looks like it's an interesting resource, probably some video in that. So let's pop into there and see what they're giving us. So here I've got a problem, may be able to find a solution, and lo and behold, here's 4 webinars right off the bat talking about managing canola.
Exactly.
And probably your resources in there somewhere.
Yep. And the difference here being that if you were to look for this on Google as an example, this resource might come up on the 25th page of Google. So a user would have to go through 25 pages of things to be able to find the answer to their question. Whereas here it's very local, and as you can see, it came up on the first page.
So that's a pretty big distinction. You're not going out to Google and filtering through several pages of questions. I mean, if you're not good at writing your search criteria, commas, spaces, ampersands, the whole works, you're not going to get to your results very quickly. So here, this is much more focused on agriculture and in Alberta in this case.
Exactly.
Now, saying that, we know that it's going to move out beyond the borders of Alberta, and I see that there's some resources in here that aren't just focused on the Alberta environment, right?
That's right.
Okay, fantastic. So how does somebody get involved with this? How do they start using this?
Well, if they're a user, you can very easily go online here, and there's a bunch of methods that you can use to register. So where your name is right now, where it says, hello, Rob Eirich, you could click on Rob Eirich, and if you weren't logged in right now, you could create an account for yourself if you were a new user. You could go to www.thehopper.ag, which is another page that I believe we're going to look at. And that also is a registration area as well. But probably the most exciting ones are either the toolbar method or the integrated version method that is going to be on a partner's website.
And how do you register as a partner?
You can contact Green Hectares, and Green Hectares will sign you up through the entire process and walk you through absolutely everything that you need to do. Fantastic.
Well, that's a very good look at some exceptionally good resources for the rural entrepreneur in Alberta and the rest of Canada. So. Thanks for sharing that with us today, Diana, and thank you to Wendy as well for coming on the show and talking about all these tools. And we look forward to, if you have any questions, I should say if you look forward to, but if you have any questions, please visit our Facebook page, and you'll see the links to these resources up there at some point in time in the near future. And if they have any questions, obviously you've given us some website directions already, which is good, and we hope that you find this Hopper product useful. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for being with us once again. We'll see you between the windrows and the wire on This Country Called Agriculture.